Hello all, and how you doing today? Different camera angle and to see the microphone in the shot. So somehow I've figured out, or somehow stumbled onto it, a way to actually use two mics with my DI Behringer U-phoria 44 HD UI box. Don't know how I did it. Not exactly sure that's sounding proper, but we'll just go with that. So what's going to happen is I'm going to attempt to, in this video, show you the sound quality and sound output differences between the Bugera G5 Infinium, as you see behind me here, and the orange micro dark that you also see now beside it. And I will be doing that using a sample from the SGJ in the bridge mode, sampled into my Ditto looper, and then playing it back through the amps, at which I will be just slowly, gradually turning the volumes up so that you can hear the sound difference and the tone differences. When it comes to the gain on each amp, I am going to keep them at the minimum audible level that it actually allows the sound to come out clearly. And I kind of boo-booed that on the one video. And what you'll also find is in the last video of the four that I'm posting up here, you will hear me actually letting the orange micro dark actually have its gain at 50%, which is, I believe, 2 of its 4 stages, and its volume slowly cranked up as well at that point. And you will hear in that clip that it does distort, but again, I want it to represent how it'll be. And if I did it correctly with my mic placement, the newer NW700 will pick up all the primary sound, and when it gets to a larger range, the Neener NW5200 here will be picking up that louder output, and I believe stacking it onto the sound. I don't know how I got it to do that, but I did. Again, the Bugera G5 Infinium is in its 5-watt mode. It is a Class A at 5 watts. The Behringer G212 guitar enclosure is at 8 ohm, and that is what will be being output by both amps. The only difference is the orange micro dark has a 12AX7 preamp tube, and it has a 20-watt solid state stage D or type D 20-watt section to it. So you're going to hear all of that, and hopefully I will have everything covered that you'll be able to tell the differences in the sound output and the clarity from both amps. So with that said, let's go. So there we have it, folks. That is the sampling. I hope you enjoyed it. My little conclusion on it is the gain on the micro dark is probably a little bit better. Like, it gets more into that kind of heavy metal range territory, but the Bugera is nothing to joke at either. And again, I haven't even used the effects loop through the G5 yet either, so that's still even more to do. Also, there's the big option of that I can swap out the tubes on the Bugera G5 with a different 12 AX7 preamp tube, and I have the possibility of swapping in a 6L6 tube into the power section of the amp, which also could very likely change how the amp is. Beyond that, as we can see as well too, is while the Bugera gets pretty loud, it definitely does. It's 5 watts of tube state in its current stock configuration. Definitely does not have the output of the orange micro dark. For whatever reason, the JJ tube in it, combined with its power section, it is loud, and it is also kind of the reason why I'm kind of stepping back from it a bit, and at this point in time, I'm very likely looking to probably sell it to recuperate costs of the Bugera, and possibly bring in a new guitar to have on the channel. So I'm not exactly going to give it a bad commenting on, but I would definitely say I can see why a lot of people are buying the orange micro darks, because they do have a substantial amount of power if you actually leave them with their stock tube in. I tried putting the Tungcell 12AX7 into it, and unfortunately it cleaned it up too much and actually took away a bit of the power amp output that it had. So that was kind of the moment I had with it. But I mean, otherwise, it's like I liked it, but again, I think what it comes down to is, again, I want a 2-channel amp. Whether I actually utilize the clean channel or not, which I very well might with this Bugera. It is a really nice sounding amp. Again, sorry to be jumping around all over the place, but it's unfortunately how my ADD inattentive type works at times. Getting back to what I was saying about the Infinium, is the 2 channels are there. If I compare it to my 2 previous experiences with tube amps, which are not exactly super great, mind you though, again, PV dropped the ball when they stopped making the Viper tubes. Those were amazing amps that had the amazing tube quality to them, as well as the solid state modeling aspect to them that just gave them a totally different life compared to the solid state versions like I got sitting over there. And the only other tube amp I had before previously, if you go back and you've been watching my channel a long time, was a Gen 1 PV Valve King. I think it was a 50 watt, and it's no doubt the best thing to do with those was to mod the shit out of them. To be brutally honest and curse a little, it's the truth. They had a nice clean channel, but it was just kind of Its lead channel was really So what somebody found out was they went through the circuitry and they actually found out a way to mod the drive channel into a Mesa dual rec or I believe it was a JCM 900, which totally made the amps go from garbage amps to like great bargain amps if you could get them for cheap and in good working condition. So enough of my rambling with my little end conclusions / thoughts on the thing. Hope everyone's well, and hope everyone is staying warm and safe in this crappy end of winter weather. And I will catch you later, and bye for now.